Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the world of Fate Stay Night. I have managed to pull myself out of the Metaphor Refantasio hole, that beautiful, beautiful JRPG job-based hole, which I am attempting to bury myself in whenever I get the chance. Ah, man, Metaphor is a really fun game. And low-key, I think I figured out like one of my favorite things about it right now. Normally when you're playing a game and you see all the characters who have like the face portraits, and you can 9 times out of 10 I feel you can usually tell it's like you're a villain, you're just a nobody, you're a romantic interest, oh, you're a party member in the future. With a lot of the character designs and portraits for a lot of the things in this game, I'm not sure with so many of these characters, and that makes me so happy. Like, there are so many characters who's like, okay, I can see you secretly being a big bad, or you'll end up being my best friend. It's just like there are so many characters. It's like, I don't know where we're going with you. You're here for a reason. You might just be like a random mini boss at some point. You might just be here to add some flavor to this world. But maybe you're going to be my best friend. I don't know. It's like, again, like, it's such good character design because it's not instantly tellable what everyone's role is instantly. Metaphor's premise of the presidential race has made the portraits a great red herring because plenty of them are just rivals you need to take out. You're a dungeon for now, yeah. I'm loving it. I have gotten to the port city. I've gotten to the port city and had the first major cutscene there. There might have been a squid involved, but yeah, that's where I have temporarily stopped my Metaphor journey for now. Oh my goodness, it's so good. I'm loving it so much, and I love myself a job system. I love myself a job system, and this is a really good job system, I feel. Oh, I can't wait to. I'm already planning out. It's like, okay, I need to make you this character for this many levels so I could possibly gain access to this class. It's just like, that's the kind of job system I love. I love a good job system, and I feel like Metaphors is really good. I'm enjoying the archetype system so far. If you've met Basilio there, I would die for him, and if he isn't a party member later, I will be so upset. Well, we're gonna figure out who the party members are. I just love how I don't know who is going to be a friend and who's going to be a foe. I love it so much. It's just such a low-key, like, it's something I don't tend to think of, because like when I'm playing a game, like I said, like 9 times out of 10 I feel like, oh, like playing this, like the second you meet freaking Shinji, like even like one line into meeting him or just looking at his portrait, you can tell like you're gonna be a jerk, aren't you? It's like, I, on the one hand, I appreciate that character design because it's like, oh, he's so punchable, I want to hit him so much. But I like Metaphor does a great job of having characters look like they could be shades of gray, look like they have more complex motivations to them. It's just like, Metaphor is so good. I could rant about Metaphor forever. It's just like, and it's one of those things. It's like, am I glad I'm not streaming that? Yeah, if I was streaming that game, I would be a nuisance, but I don't think it would been as bad as I feared. Like, the grinding in that game is not as bad as I thought it was going to be with like the real life action stuff. I was a little bit iffy of that, especially after the demo. I was very iffy about like the real time battle, the overworld sort of battles you can have. But it's like, I'm into it. It took some growing on me, and also took me switching out of mage because I really don't like running the overworld as a mage. But I'm gonna have to switch back to mage at some point. But we'll figure it out later. For now, let's do a little bit of karaoke to do the vocal warm-ups to get prepared to do a whole lot of reading. This one, not a very vocally stretching one, but it's a fun storytelling one with lots of fun lyrics and lots of playing along with it. Going to go with Fiddler on the Roof, If I Were a Rich Man. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Diddle 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 dum. If I were a bitty rich, diddle man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with real wooden floors below. There could be one long staircase just going up, and one even longer going down, and one more leading nowhere just for show. I'd fill my yard with chicks and turkeys and geese and ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can. And each loud quack, cluck, and honk will land like a trumpet on the air, as if to say, here lives a wealthy man. Oi. If I were a rich man, diddle deedle diggle deagle diggle deedle diddle dum. All day long I'd beauty boom. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Deedle diddle diddle deedle diggle deagle diddle dum. If I were a bitty rich, diggle deagle diggle man, I see my wife, my Golda, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising meals to her heart's delight. I see her putting on airs and strutting like a peacock. Oh, what a happy mood she's in, screaming at the servants day and night. The most important men in town would come to fawn on me. They will ask me to advise them, like Solomon the Wise. If you please, Reptavia, pardon me, Reptavia, posing problems that would cross a rabbi's eyes. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you're rich, they think you really know. Huh? If I were rich, I'd have the time that I lack to sit in the synagogue and pray. Maybe have a seat by the eastern wall. And I discuss the holy books with the learned men 7 hours every day. That would be the sweetest thing of all. Even a rich man, diddle deedle deedle diggle diggle deedle diggle dum. All day long I'd bitty bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. Diddle 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 dum. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decree I should be what I am. But would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man? Such a fun roll. It's a dream roll, and I am loath to admit it, but I am closer and closer to an age that can actually play that. Oh boy. Old. Getting old. Body. Feeling it. But we just got into the Heaven's Feel branch last time. Perfect time to come into the stream. You just missed the ending of a little bit of musical theater warm-up. Hello, Jordan. Hope you're having a lovely day. As we dive into what is already promising. Like, we've barely gotten into Heaven's Field, but it's already like, I am mentally anguished and traumatized already. This is going to get bad. What's going to happen? I'm so nervous. They better not hurt Sakura. Don't hurt Sakura. She did nothing wrong. Protect Sakura and Taiga at all costs. We need to do it. Heaven's Feel. Chapter 4. Avenger. Why are we avenging anything? Nothing bad has happened. Okay, granted, this timeline, Saber has gotten absolutely destroyed by Hercules. But we don't need to avenge her. She's just a girl, as far as we're concerned. That's one of the big fears of Heaven's Feel right now. Is just like, is Shiro going to go full? But she's a girl. She can't fight. Like he was mostly doing in the Fate route. We're gonna find out. Hopefully it's not that bad. Hopefully I'm just exaggerating. Winter, 5 years ago. It was a beautiful moonlit night. I was just enjoying the sight with my father, Kiritsugu Emiya. It was winter, but it wasn't very cold. On the veranda, it was just a little chilly. The perfect weather to watch the moon. The Democrats had not seeded any clouds to cause destruction and rain it down upon us. That's all I will say on that. Kiritsugu didn't go outside much anymore. He rarely went out, and he spent most of his time lounging around the house. Every time I recall this, I still feel regret. Why didn't I realize he was acting the way any creature does when they know their time's almost up? When I was a boy, I wanted to be a champion of justice. He blurted out, just out of nowhere. My father, who already seemed like a champion of justice in my eyes, said that as if he were reflecting on a memory. Politics in my video games? Yeah, go play some Metaphor if you want some fun politics. Oh, I'm enjoying the politics. It's just like, Metaphor is just one big presidential race, and I'm enjoying it right now. It has not made me sad or existentially mad at the world yet. And again, I'm still barely 20 hours into that game, so who knows where it's gonna go. What? You wanted to, so you gave up on it? I asked, unable to completely hide my disappointment. Ritsu smiled apologetically and looked up at the distant moon. Unfortunately, yes. You can only be a hero for so long. It gets harder to call yourself one as you grow up. I wish I had found that out earlier. You just got the full game today and you beat the demo. Oh, it's such a good game. I just got to the third major city. I'm not saying anything else because I ain't spoiling that game for nobody. That's such a wonderful experience. Especially since it's just brand freaking new. Anytime I see like one of my friends or someone like post even a screenshot of Metaphor, just like scroll past it, can't risk it, cannot risk it being a spoiler. No. That made sense to me. I wasn't sure why, but if Kiritsugu said it, then it had to be true. Ah, well, that's too bad. Yes, it really is too bad. Oh, you won a Steam Key giveaway. Heck freaking yeah, Jordan. Oh, so pumped for you. Oh, enjoy it. Enjoy it so much. I need to enter more content. Like, there was a time when I was, like, entering contests every day, but, like, I never won anything. So it's just, like, I need to enter contests again. I can still... There's a chance. There's still a chance I can win stuff. Like, when's the last time I won a contest? Oh, boy. In elementary school, I remember winning a school-wide drawing, which was probably... How many people were there? Maybe, like, 500 or so kids. I won a drawing to be able to pick a prize, and I picked a signed baseball by the state-winning baseball team. And it's still in a cabinet somewhere back in my parents' house. Love the demo, so you know you'll love the rest of it. It's so good, and it's such a long demo. There's like, it really is a demo that's like, okay, we're just getting to the introduction. We're almost to the introduction by the end of it, and it's hours and hours in. You have bad luck, so this is one of the few times your luck goes in for me. Heck yeah, Jordan. I'm glad your luck turned around for you. Ah! Don't go auto mode. Don't accidentally click stuff. Yuritsugu nodded in agreement, so I was just kind of blurting something out as if it were a natural thing to say. Okay, if you can't do it, then I'll do it for you! You can't do anything because you're a boring old adult, but I can. You can leave your dream to me. Don't let your dreams be dreams, because I'll make it a reality. That bold promise made my father smile. His face said everything I needed to know. Yuritsugu made a long, contented sigh, and whispered, "That's a relief." And there he closed his eyes. And so too, his life came to a close. And so Shiro's life was changed forever because Shiro decides to take on the dreams of other people rather than forming dreams of his own. Yay, Shiro! Enjoy becoming Kuritsugu's sword. He looked so peaceful, like he was going to wake up in the morning, so I didn't think much about it. Maybe it's because by then I was used to seeing death. On a winter night, the man I called father looked up at the moon and entered a long sleep. The yard was dead silent. Get it? Dead silent? Because our dad's dead. Not so much a single chirp from an insect. I still remember how fiercely my eyes blazed on that brilliant dark night. I didn't cry out loud, nor did I feel sad. Shut up. The tears flowed down my cheek until the moon sank past the horizon's zero dawn. This happened in winter 5 years ago. I probably cried 10 years worth of tears in that time. So after that, there was nothing left. All I could do was go cope by trying to do a high jump and failing miserably. Fujini's dad took care of the funeral stuff. That's how I ended up living at the Emiya mansion all by myself. Ritsu's passing didn't change anything for me. I was set on becoming a man who champions justice and doing what's right, just like my father. I didn't have time to sit around. That's right, I had to go high jump. I never talk about it, but I still remember it. 10 years ago, a man saved me from the fire, picked up a burned, dying child and carried him out of hell, weeping with joy. I admired him ever since. Nobody else saved me. They just creepily stalked me as I did high jumps. I couldn't save anyone. In the ruins of the fire, there was only a boy who was saved, and the man who saved him. That's why I aspired to be like him. I wanted to be a hero of justice that saves people and doesn't let anyone die. We have seen this dialogue like 5 times, I feel, but oh well. Shiro Emiya must become a hero of justice and save someone the way that he was once saved. I swore I would do it. I vowed to fulfill the dream of the man I admired. But I didn't know how. What did Kiritsugu mean by doing the right thing and championing justice? How can I grow up faster? Is there some kind of magic way to make Kiritsugu's dream of making everyone happy come true? What am I supposed to do when I become a master? And I can't get the blonde girl with me out of my head. What are we planting the seeds for with this sentence? Doing the right thing. I feel like Shiro has never questioned what doing the right thing is. Which is making me paranoid that Heaven's Feel is going to have a lot more shades of gray than Fate and Unlimited Blade Works did. There's like, I felt like there were some clear, like, this is the good guy, this is the bad guy, or this is who you're up against, and you have to beat them to do this. Even, like, Unlimited Blade Works had more against all odds sort of stuff. In the end, like, we knew who our villains were. It was like Shiro and Rin and Saber against the world. Why are we questioning what the right thing is now? Oh boy. Hopefully I'm just being paranoid. Urgh! I wake up in my room. Ugh, something tastes terrible. Icky. Blech. The steely tang of blood clouds my mouth. It pulled in my mouth while I slept, and every time I breathe, heavy metallic air fills my lungs. Okay, yeah. So last thing that happened was totally got our butt kicked by Hercules. Fantastic. But hey, we're alive. Thank you, healing magic. Not sure why I feel this way. A violent urge to vomit makes me want to go wash my face. Okay. Lift myself out of bed. Dizziness sets my head spinning. Feeling uneasy on my head. I kind of plant a hand on the wall. Try to move. Only makes the tummy ache worse. Body sluggish. Imagine that is making me feel like I'm going to run a fever. Wipe the sweat from forehead. Hobble out of room. Leaning on wall. Okay, I feel a little better. It's time for a shower scene. I wash my face and dry off my sweat-drenched body. Huh? For some reason, my tummy has a band-aid on it. No idea why. I'll worry about it later. I'm hungry. Did I have any food in the fridge? My stomach still feels like it's churning. My body needs nourishment. Urgh! I suck up the discomfort and keep walking, bracing myself against the wall. The dizziness is not going away, and worst of all, my whole body feels dull. Ouchies! Keep moving forward, making pathetic noise along the way. Oh, what the heck did I do before I went to bed last night? We've completely blocked out the whole Hercules absolutely murdering everything part. Good to know. I reach the living room. Sakura and Fujini must be at school. No sign of breakfast, nor do I see any remnants of Fujini wrecking the place. The living room's quiet, like a typical Sunday. Morning. Sorry I came without asking, Emiya. Or not. What? Rin Tosaka is sitting on the floor by the table in the living room. She's so calm, like she owns the place. So much so that I feel like the guest here. I have no idea what to say, so I just plop down on a cushion. And I take a deep breath. Tosaka, why are you? Stop. Shouldn't you apologize to me first? I can't move on from last night until you say you're sorry for what you did. I can't even finish asking why she's even in my house. She's just glaring at me and she's super angry. Said about something that happened. Oh, wait. That wasn't a nightmare that I just tried to block out. That actually happened. I tried to help Saber and then Berserker gutted me. No, I was going to say, do we count that? We can't count it. That was a disemboweling that already happened. We already counted it. We cannot count the same thing twice, unfortunately. The nausea returns. What are we at? We're leaving off at 16. 16 disembowelments so far. We'll see how many Heavens Feel we get. I feel like Unlimited Blade Works didn't have that many disembowelings. Kind of disappointing. But then again, I didn't get it that many bad endings as well. A chill grips my entire body as I remember the feeling of having a gaping hole in my body. Wait, that's weird. Why am I not dead? Do you remember? You did something stupid last night, and I hope you regret it. Tosaka huffs critically, and that just kind of ticks me off. My brain is frozen since seeing Tosaka in my living room finally grinds me into action. What are you talking about? I had no choice. Well, I guess I did have a choice, but that other choice just led to a bad ending. I wanted it to go better. So it wasn't a mistake. The game forced me to do it. I return her glare, super mean-like, insisting that I'm not a stupid. What? Why is she making a big ol' sigh? If the master dies, the servant disappears too. I can't believe you actually tried to shield your own servant. But she's just a girl. If you die, Saber's gone too. If you wanted to save Saber, you should have thought of a different way to do it from a distance. Do you realize how pointed it is to risk your own life? I wasn't shielding her, I was just trying to get her out of there. Didn't think that would happen. I knew I might die if I got near a monster like that, but that's beside the point. Fine, you had the wrong idea, idiot. Tosaka just looks irritated. Fantastic. I'll be straight with you, Emiya. Not if Saber's around in a different route. I didn't take you to the church so that you could win. I was just trying to give you a chance, because you literally don't know anything and you're stupid. It sounds like you still don't get it. A chance to survive? Yeah, I figured you wouldn't take risks or really do much if you knew defeat meant death. But it looks like you're the kind of person to go out at night even in a situation like this. I thought if I scared you straight, you wouldn't throw your own life away for someone else. And if you're lucky, you'd make it to the end. I see, that didn't cross my mind. Well, that's why she's so unhappy with me about facing down Berserker. Why are you upset? Why does me dying have anything to do with you? It has everything to do with me because you made me worry all night long. Tosaka is throwing a tantrum. Alright, I guess it's nice to have someone worry about me. I am trying to click the skip button because it feels like this is... If it's not the same dialogue from Fate, it's very similar. Tosaka turns away. Then we're done with what happened last night. Let's get down to business. You want to talk about it or talk about yesterday? Tosaka just prompts me matter-of-factly. Her straightforwardness kind of catches me off guard, and now that I think about it, she must only be here because she has something to discuss. If she didn't have something to discuss, she'd have just gone home already. Tosaka is my enemy. So what could she have to talk about that would prompt her to stay in enemy territory? Curious to know what she's thinking, and also want to know what else happened last night. Well, I gotta ask anyway, what happened? You should know what's going on first. You're finally thinking straight. Okay, so we have the same thing. It's morning. We're talking to Ren, but in this one we had a choice, but we don't seem to be getting a choice here. Apparently Berserker left after I lost consciousness, and my body began to heal on its own. Yay, magic! What's important is you managed to survive on your own, thanks to a magic sheath that we don't know about in this timeline. I might have helped a little bit, but you're the one who healed, so don't get it twisted. That's what it sounds like, but why aren't... You didn't heal me? No, I can't revive someone on the verge of death. Like, that was like a super disemboweling. Yay, at least my tummy's back to normal. But I don't know any healing magecraft. Knowledge of families. Saber can regenerate, so her power might be flowing in you. I'm at this point, we've seen this before. I'm just going to keep clicking until it seems like there might be something new. Wouldn't be normally possible. Does that mean your relationship with Archer is a normal mage relationship? That's right. He doesn't listen to a word I say, but that is our relationship. Much like me with you. The connection between master and servant is like gas in an engine. We provide the energy for them to consume. So I've read that a master once acquired pseudo-immortality by physically fusing with their servant? They wouldn't die as long as they're... I don't remember that! That's a thing? We have the fusion dance? Do we get the earrings? Saber, grab the earring! I want to use a gold sword. That's invisible. Yeah, I am. In Tosaka, does that mean my body will heal from injuries even if I don't do anything about it? Cost of your servant's magic. Oh, I don't know how it works, but it definitely has something to do with Saber being stuck in material form. I don't think you've learned any curses of natural regeneration. My old man never taught me something that complicated. He just stuck a sheath in me. That's not what I mean. I'm saying I wouldn't have had to worry as much if it were true. Never mind, doesn't concern you. Why are we talking about fusing with servants? What is going to happen in this branch? I wonder why Tosaka's being so roundabout. Anyway, just don't do anything rash. You might have survived this time, but you might not live to tell the tale next time you get hurt. You better ditch the notion that any small wounds heal on their own. I ain't doing that so long as I got a contract with Saber. I'm just going to assume I'm going to heal forever. Saber had to help me because I went and got myself hurt. I don't have any excuse for that. Hopefully the wording of this means that we're not doing the because she's a girl route and more like, oh, she's using her magic to heal me if I go on the front lines. Maybe I don't need to do that. We'll see where it goes. That's not the point, idiot. Be clear. It costs more than Saber's magic to heal you. You're giving something up. Whether it's your life, your luck, or even your bank account. You can bet that kind of healing isn't cheap. Osaka huffs again. I agree, but... Osaka, I don't think my bank account has anything to do with this. Of course it does. Using Magecraft means you're throwing money away. The more you use it, the more it drains your money. Otherwise, none of this would be acceptable. That's why I get random rods that I find on the ground. I don't have to buy my rods each time I shove them into my spine. Uh-oh. Osaka explodes with fury. It's odd, really. The more I talk to her, the more that this Tosaka kind of feels like the real one, while the cool girl at school feels more like an act. So I guess I noticed that yesterday. Well, putting the topic of money aside, I want to talk about something serious. Are you ready, Emiya? What are we talking about? It's the main reason you're here. Just let's hear it. Is it something we can skip past that we talked about before? What do you plan to do next? I don't know. What am I going to do now? That's a question I want to ask. I don't know. I know there's a competition for the Holy Grail thingy, but I've never done a mage battle in this timeline. For one thing, I don't want to kill people. I'm not interested in something like the Holy Grail. I don't know if I can risk my life for something I don't want. I knew you'd say something like that. I'll have you know, your servant's gonna kill you if you say that. Kill me! Because the servants also seek the Holy Grail. One of the conditions for them allowing a master to summon them is getting a chance at the Holy Grail. The Grail is the servant's #1 priority. What the heck? That doesn't sound right. Servants are the ones who were summoned by the masters, right then? Did you think servants would really serve humans for free? Whoever acquires the Grail gets their wish granted, and whether that's a master or their guardian servant. The servant has wishes of their own, and that's why they respond to the summons. Masters don't summon servants to help them get the Holy Grail. Servant answers the master's call to have a chance at the Grail. Servants have wishes too. How dare servants have their own ideals? That's why servants will go out of their way to eliminate other masters even without being ordered to. Unlike masters, servants don't have the power to take away command spells. The only way to neutralize other masters is by killing them dead. Even a master has no intention of fighting conflicts inevitable. Yeah. Anything new here? Doesn't look like it. Is the girl who fought so hard to protect me here to kill, fight, and maybe die all for the Holy Grail? That's awful. Don't worry about that. Servants aren't mortal. About that? Ugh. No, I mean, even if their deaths are figurative, it doesn't change the facts that something which takes form of a human dies. You have some hang-ups on killing? You've got some nerve calling yourself a mage with morals. I guess Sasaka's right. As a mage, death is kind of not far away. I do it every time I shove the rods up my spine. Of course I do. I won't be party to some war where people are just murdering. Really? So you're just going to stand there and wait to be killed? You're just going to hand victory to someone else? No, I'm just saying I have to stay alive, right? I don't intend to kill anyone. But I'm not going to hold back if I need to defend myself. I can sick Fujini on them. They'll never stand a chance. So you're going to play defense. Yeah, we can just play defense against Hercules. No problem. What could possibly go wrong? When people die to an invisible killer, those deaths will be treated by accidents. Yeah. Still not seeing much new. Servants are spirit, their form are complete, static, and they do not crow. They still need magic energy as fuel when they are provided with more magic. Hopefully the repeat stuff stops very soon. Like, I feel like 90% of this has been the same, but then again, it could be 100% the same. Although I'd like to think I would remember them mentioning being able to fuse with a servant. Where the heck are we going? Servants can convert souls. Yeah, we already know that. Servants can kill people and get fuel to power themselves. Got it. Fusion thing was mentioned in both the other routes. Okay, then I just don't remember it. I probably just made a fusion joke, a Dragon Ball joke, and then just moved on. Rather than... This route is making me paranoid already. Well, this route just makes me completely paranoid about any little thing that seems weird getting mentioned. But the fact that the fusion thing hasn't come up in the other two routes means that just like in my head says like it's going to be a thing in this route. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to defeat masters. I'm good. I've got things taken care of. Tasaka, just leave me alone. Are you going to move in here? I can see the gears turning in her head. I promised I'd listen. Fine. Remember that master from yesterday? The little girl who tried to, murder us both? How could I forget? I hate her. She's being annoying. Why is she trying to murder me? She's going to come back and kill us. I know she is. That little girl's a master too, and she knows that both Tosaka and I are masters. Her servant Berserker is on a whole other level. Look who's talking. You have no chance against that thing either. Not in a straight up fight, and that's like the ultimate close quarters servant. We need like range. If we had the ability to like summon swords and just shoot them out from the sky, we might be able to fight them. Too bad neither of us has that ability, right, Emiya? Yeah, don't have that power. At least my wound's closed. Curse you, game, for not letting me fast forward. I'm not that bad a mage. But again, it's not quite the same because, like, we don't have a choice coming up. Emiya, I'm waiting for your answer. She urges me to make a choice. This isn't something I should be agonizing over. I'm an amateur, while Tosaka's a first-rate mage and master. Given what happened last night, teaming up with her is clearly the wiser choice, and if I choose anything else, it would put me on a different path that's not Heaven's Feel. Scary little girl. My hand goes to where I was slashed across my tummy. Been secured with bandages, but even the slightest touch sends waves of pain and tummy aches through me. Makes sense, I wasn't just eviscerated, my body was almost cut in half. I'm only alive thanks to Tosaka and Saber. As long as Berserker is after me, I'm dead. Something's bothering me about that slate-skinned giant Berserker. That pale little girl commands the strongest servant? Ilschlevel von Einsberg. Pretty sure I heard Shinji's grandpa say that name. New stuff! Heck frickin' yeah. Emiya, I want your answer. Sorry, was thinking about that Ilya girl. I team up with you, that means we get to beat up a little girl. Yeah, she comes out at us, we respond. Just have to defeat all the other masters. If that's how Ilshvel wants to play, we'll shoot to kill as well. Wait, do you have a gun? Yeah, I have a gun arm. I haven't told you about that yet in this timeline. Okay, Tosaka's determination's firm, and to her, that little girl is simply an enemy to be defeated. But I don't want to fight her, even though I know that makes me sound like an idiot. It does. Emiya, I hope you weren't fooled by Ilshvel's appearance. Tosaka glares at me. She sure is sharp. I mean, it's not like I'm doing this on purpose, but maybe what she looks like is getting to me. She's Berserker's master. She need to be a super next level mage to command him. That means her physical age might be misleading. It might be, and yet... Sorry, Tosaka. Appreciate your concern. I can't give you the answer you want. As heavy as this whole thing is, I don't think I should just jump into a decision here. Tosaka kinda narrows her eyes and then gives an emotionless nod. Then I guess that's it. Though you're right about one thing. If you really want to win, you can't trust anyone. That isn't true. I trust you, Tosaka. I just don't think I can make the decision on my own. If I'm Saber's master, then I shouldn't make commitments without looping her in. I see. You're right. You're a master now. Tosaka nods again in acceptance and just turns away. Her long hair sways as she walks away. So we're not instantly teaming up with Tosaka in this branch. It's not even giving us the choice to. Alright. Which makes me paranoid that my earlier prediction for this branch is, yeah, Tosaka's just going to be straight up enemy. Oh boy. No alliance. I did want this. I wanted this from a storytelling perspective. I wanted to see what would happen if we don't have Rin in our corner for once. How is this going to go? So, because we met Sakura's grandfather and he mentioned Einsburn, like, we're so compelled by that idea, we're so sort of confused about Ilya that we're just like, no, I don't quite want to go full on against her until we know more info. That's how I'm interpreting it. The girl who might have been my ally turns back. See you around. Next time, we'll meet as enemies. And she leaves me with a cold warning, just like Ilya did. It's just us. Just me and Saber. And Fujini. And Sakura. It's just us. We don't have Rin around to ruin everything. All right, then. Take a breath and consider the situation. Ever since last night when I witnessed Lancer and Archer fighting at the school, I haven't really had time to collect my thoughts. Oh, right. That means I saw Tosaka back there. Realization comes too late. After Lancer did a heart explosion on me, someone saved me. And then, after that, Saber saved me. I was really a damsel in distress last night. A lot. Everything I heard at the church, about the death match, about the Holy Grail. It all sounds fantastic and not quite real. But I've kind of already been attacked 3 times. Can't stay bewildered forever. My entire purpose here was that I can't allow the battle to run amok. I won't let innocent people get hurt. Ever since that day 10 years ago, I have been training in magecraft so I can be a champion of justice. Never expected I'd be tested right now in this way, but hey, no going back. We're all in. I cast aside my doubts. This could be an opportunity for me. A chance to fight for someone else's sake. I can finally live up to those self-sacrificing fantasies I always have. Just like Kiritsugu Emiya. But there's still one thing bothering me. Rejoice, Shiro Emiya. Your absurd forbidden desire will finally be granted. Made me wonder if always doing the right thing is actually a twisted way to live. Are we having that kind of are we having that character development already? What? Like character development I've been begging for? That can't be true. I mean, I never wanted this Holy Grail war to happen. There's no room for doubt. The oath I swore 10 years ago that I trained every day to uphold. It can't be wrong. Shiro Emiya always does the right thing. Keep going with that word. The theme of this route seems to be the right thing. He trained in magecraft to prevent other people from dying. Alright, I should talk to Saber first. I push aside the priest's words lingering in the back of my mind and head into the hallway. Ooh, okay. We just had to do a lot of clicking through for like 20 minutes or so, but we're finally to a point where it's like, okay, we really split now. Oh boy. How's this going to affect Shinji and the school bombing? Magic bombs are the worst. How does this going to affect Castor? Because Castor is... We're not teaming up with Ren to go after her master, so she and her master are not going to be on the same page completely, even though she still will be with him. Oh boy. I checked all the guest room where people are likely to be, but Saber's nowhere to be found! That's weird. The way she's dressed, I thought I'd spot her right away. Also, the fact that she's another person living in your house. Like, I would like to think I would spot another living being. I mean, she's not that short. Okay, she's really short. I would have a hard time finding her, but still. Apparently, servants can turn into invisible ghosts, but alas, I never learned how to do that trick. So, in this timeline, is, like, Saber actually going to be in her armor because, like, maybe Ren did not give her regular clothes this time? To begin with, I call myself a master, but I don't even know anything about her. All I know is... she's a girl! How incredible she is, she can get hurt in a fight and bleed if you cut her. Oh! Saber's in the dojo! She looks different than yesterday. Sitting on her knees atop the wooden floor. She's not even wearing her armor. Chained into super elegant clothes that they really just suit her. Now she sits and waits. Words fail me at the sight. Saber looks beautiful. She strikes a refined, dignified figure as she sits there with her eyes closed. Matching the stillness of the dojo, she reminds me of clear, pure water. That rids me of any doubt in my mind. Servant or whatever, she seems sacrosanct. From now on, Sure, I won't go down the wrong path. Oh, we are so headstrong in the right and wrong in our minds. Oh boy. I'm sure that's not going to get shattered at any point in this timeline. Saber! I call to her. Saber calmly opens her eyes and slowly meets my gaze. You're awake, Shira. Her voice is serene. Something rich and calm about her voice hangs in the air. Yeah, I just woke up. What are you doing here? I was resting. Since I cannot treat you, I figured that I would at least ensure that my body is in perfect condition as I can make it. Give it until day 4 before that mindset is shattered. We're on! Wait a second, we are on day 4! Oh no! Saber gives a straightforward response as she scrutinizes me. This is, it's making me nervous in a different way than Tosaka did. Personal space, lady! Shira, what is it? Is your body still cut in half? No, I'm fine. It's just... nothing. It's nothing. I quickly take a step back and I shake my head. Looking away from Saber, who tilts her head at me quizzically, I try to calm my rapid heartbeat. Get a hold of yourself. Why are you getting all worked up over this? You're just a teenage boy. Act like a mature man. Act like a hero of justice. I take a deep breath. I don't think this feeling's going away anytime soon, though. Oh man, why did she have to change? I can't help myself. With Saber in that outfit, I can't help but actually feel like she's a real girl. Seriously, she is drop dead gorgeous. I mean, I saw that yesterday, but it's actually setting in now. I get, okay, Shiro's not for the armor girl look. Fine, to each his own. Shiro, please stop drooling. As soon as we make eye contact, I can feel my nervousness grow. Then again, I wasn't looking everywhere for her just to stay silent. It's uncomfortable, but I can't let it be awkward forever. All right. May I, Saber? This is the first time for us to sit down and actually figure things out. But I bite the bullet. But then... Shira, before that, there is something I would like to address regarding last night. Again, also, please stop drooling over me. Saber interrupts me, her serenity replaced by irritation. That's fine. What is it? As I said about last night, you are my master. It is troubling if you take such action. Combat is my area of expertise, while your role is to fall back when the fight breaks out. I cannot protect you if you throw yourself to death. Saber doesn't mince words, and her clipped tone is enough to make me forget about my anxiety, at least. What the heck? If I hadn't intervened, you'd be cut in half! Perhaps I would have died, but you would not have been hurt. Let me repeat myself. Do not do that again. My master need not defend me, nor is there any reason to do so. He says so dispassionately. Like it's just all business, nothing personal, kid. Don't be stupid. I don't need reason to protect a girl. I snap back out of reflex. Saber stiffens, as if surprised to see me upset with her. Then her look becomes one of dignity. I find myself taking a step back. Now I just feel super embarrassed, like I said something incredibly tone deaf. Just a little bit. Thanks for taking me home. Appreciate it. Turn around to thank her. It's embarrassing enough to thank her like this, but in this situation it feels even more awkward. Even so, it's only right to thank the person who saved my life. You are most welcome. It is a servant's duty to protect their master, but it is still nice to be acknowledged. You are very courteous, Shiro. I don't think I'm particularly polite, actually. There's something more pressing I need to bring up. Something I should have asked as soon as I got home yesterday. Where'd you get those clothes? I don't have any dresses in my house, I think. don't quote me on that. Is she willing to be my servant? Is she really alright with fighting with me in this war? Let's get back on topic, Saber. I can't call you Saber, right? That's not like super rude. Yes, as a servant who has formed a contract with you, I am your sword. I shall follow your orders, attack your enemies, and protect you. Well, I've got this guy Shinji I wanted to tell you about. Saber doesn't hesitate in the slightest. Her tone leaves no room for doubt. You are my sword, huh? To win this Holy Grail thingy? Is that not why you summoned me? No, that all just happened by coincidence, actually. Funny story. May have figured this out, but I'm not like a super mage. I'm more of a, like, I just shove rods in my spine and then I just figure stuff out from there. Sorry, I don't really have master knowledge. But what I've decided to do, I'll fight. I'm inexperienced as a master, but are you okay with that? Of course I am. You are my master, Shiro. That is an immutable fact. Servants do not have the freedom to choose their masters. I didn't know that. Well, that's true. I need to respect Saber's needs and actions the best I can. Got it. So you're fine with me being your master then, Saber? Yes. However, Shiro, I will not allow defeat. If you not have any chance, it is my duty to carve the path to victory. I will use any means possible to have you win the Holy Grail. We servants do not serve our masters out of charity. We serve because we also desire the Holy Grail. Wait, what? You mean you want the Holy Grail too? I know I just had a conversation with Saber about it, but to hear it from your lips, girls want things? Of course, virtually the only ones who can touch the Holy Grails are spiritual forms, are the servants, who are also spirits. The master who is victorious in the Holy Grail War will obtain the Holy Grail through their servant, and afterwards the servant's wish will be granted in repayment. That is the nature of the relationship between servant and master. Ah, come to think of it, there's no reason these super strong heroic spirits would listen to stupid humans. I mean, they have their own reasons, which means Saber has a wish she wants granted. That's why she doesn't hesitate. Wait, hold on, Saber. You said any means possible, right? Does that mean you... I remember what the priest said. He said that you could kill stuff. Shiro, that is not what I mean by any means possible. I'm not going to murder everyone. I can only do the things I allow myself to, which is impossible for me to betray my own beliefs. Harming unarmed innocents goes against a knight's oath. However, I must obey you if you order so. In that case, you would have to use one of your command spells. Oh boy. At the same time, I feel relief. Saber felt like a robot because of, like, you know, the superpowers and the lack of hesitation. But at least she's not a cold-blooded killer. Woo! Yeah, I would not make you do murdering like that. Ooh, just as you said, we have done our best with the situation we got. I am super sorry. What I said must have been really insulting. No, I also failed to grasp your intentions, and I jumped to conclusions. You are not at fault, so may you please raise your head? Oh yeah, I bowed. My bad. This is the start of a beautiful friendship. Saber has a small smile on her face. I'm glad she seems happy, so I don't press her. Okay, can I ask one more thing? I still don't understand. I do know that, like, Saber and Lancer aren't your actual names, though? Yes, those are only names given to us based on each of our roles. I shall use the opportunity to give a rough explanation. Yeah, are we about to learn all the stuff we already know? Heroic spirits left mark on history, we reveal our weakness. However, not the only reason I'm called Seven Servants. We're learning about the classes. I do love the class system. It's super neat. It's a cool job system. Sadly, like, I would love to be able to take the Saber job system for a little while, go up a few levels in that, then maybe switch to some Archer, maybe to get some good eyesight in there, but sadly, that is one thing that the Fate system does not do. Man, would I love a Fate RPG where you actually had a job system and you could switch between the different classes and get like the job benefits and level and Okay, I'm actually just wanting to play Metaphor right now. Sue me, everyone should want to play Metaphor right now. Metaphor's amazing. Well, Cow. You're a Saber, because you can use a sword! Close enough. It is also my disadvantage. I am not a mage, so I can only defeat enemies. You mean you're not good with cloak and dagger stuff? Got it, you can't be sneaky and murder stuff. You have to murder stuff head on. This is hypothetical, but you would use that, blah blah blah. That is correct. If your opponent discovers you are also skilled in close combat, they will most likely not challenge you thusly. Yeah. Already had these conversations, learning what noble phantasms are. You know, heart-exploding attacks. Could it be Saber or noble phantasms, magecraft, blah blah blah. What is this part of the flowchart? Still aren't it choices. Still very linear, still covering stuff we mostly already know if we don't completely already know it. I have a request about that matter. What kind of request? Yes, she doesn't want us to learn her true name, so I'm not going to ask her about it. It's not that rash. I thought it over, and I'm satisfied by the conclusion I reached. I did think it through, so don't worry. Moving on. Don't need to know your name. Doesn't matter. Come to think about it, it's strange. I decide to fight, yet the only opponent I know is Dosaka, and I have no intention to fight her. Even though she said she's ready to fight me. Saber, is this going to be the route where we actually take you to school? We're still going to foolishly go to school, but can I at least be smart enough to take you to school with me? We're not going to do that? Probably not. We're probably not going to do that. No schoolgirl Saber even in this route. Even though we should bring Saber with us, protect us from Tosaka, please. My only proof as a master is my command spell. Looks like I've got a tough road ahead of me. Shiro, can you close your eyes for a moment? Is she gonna poke my head and I learn about stuff? Saber, are you doing something weird to me? There we go. We got the servant data unlocked and the weapon data unlocked. Kind of weird that's... I was expecting a third different way of getting it, but it's like, one route we get a magic book, and just the other two routes, just like Saber boops us on the head to learn about all this stuff. Oh well, boops are a very powerful tool. Something seems to catch Saber's attention. Oh, uh-oh. That might have been an important line. Okay, let's go back a few lines. Yes, I've missed something. I'm getting to it now. I noticed I missed something. We can't just wait and see. I don't know what the other masters are like, and I'm curious about Ilya. If I'm trying to avoid creating more victims, then we should probably try to find the other masters. Aimlessly wandering through the city seems dangerous, but I can't come up with anything better. Maybe I should have teamed up with Tosaka after all. Ilya, does Berserker's master concern you, Shiro? Yeah, I'm just wondering why she's after us. Actually, I've never met her before yesterday, though it was just in passing. I've heard the name Einsburn before, too. That seems to catch Saber's attention. She makes an inscrutable face at the mention of Einsburn. What is she going to mention? Saber, have you heard the Einsburn name before, too? I know the name. Are you familiar with it, Shiro? No, I wouldn't say that. I just kind of heard in passing. Before I met her, well, someone who has nothing to do with all this. Yep, totally. Shiro, you meet someone who talks about the name Einsburn, and you meet someone named Einsburn who is a master in this Holy Grail War, and you're just like, yeah, they probably don't. No, there's no linking. There's nothing there. Just all a coincidence. Just all one big coincidence. Ugh. Before we met, someone who has nothing to do with this asked me if the daughter of the Einsburns was doing well. I see. You don't know anything. Are you going to tell me anything? The beginning of Heavensfield is a bunch of small stuff like this and the day one stuff before it all comes crashing down. Oh boy. Come crashing down. Nothing's going to go wrong. It's just going to be just a totally normal route. We're going to just go out. We're going to solo Rider. We're going to solo Assassin, solo Caster. We're all going to take him down by like day 5. No problem. Saber closes her mind as she decides if she wants to tell us the truth about Fate Zero and other parts of her backstory. Something just messed up at my feet. Okay, here we go. I just accidentally, or that I really not want. Oh. All right. Is Saber going to tell us the truth? Or is she just going to be a big dirty liar? This must be fated somehow. If you wish to learn more about the Einsburns, you should visit the church again. The priest will be able to shed some light on your questions and your next course of action. The church? You mean the one from yesterday? I'm not supposed to go there anymore. Priest said only to come back if I'm going to forfeit master stuff. That was a white lie. The rules that the priest enforces are a contrivance of the Mages Association meant to control the battle between mages. Since you do not belong to the association, there is no purpose in obeying them. Ha! I can just break the rules? Alright. She's right. Tosak is part of the association, but the Emiya are a bunch of outlaws. I'm wanted, dead or alive. I won't get anything out of following the laws, so I just gotta be a rebel and ignore them just like my old man. You understand now. The church is a shelter of last resort for you, but you are under no obligation to obey their laws. I guess you're right. I still want to avoid that church if I can. Don't want to feel guilt about people who were children when I was a child and I got adopted and they were left at a church. I have a feeling that I shouldn't see that priest anymore. No, the priest is our friend. Kirai Kodamine is a nice guy. I have a hunch something's wrong with him. Isn't a feeling of hostility like I can't trust him. That he's a threat. I just shouldn't be around him. I'm afraid that the more I'm around him, the more of myself that I've built up over time is going to crumble away. Maybe that's a good thing, Shiro. I know how you feel, Shiro. I agree. We should avoid associating with him if possible. Saber concurs with a dignified look. Huh? I guess that's a surprise. I never expected Saber to feel awkward of associating with humans, after all. Leaving me aside, why do you feel that way? You didn't even meet him. You were just standing outside in your super cool and cute raincoat that we don't get to see in this route. No! We better see Raincoat Saber in this route. Saber hesitates. After a frown of indecision, she raises her head as if her doubts have been dispelled. He participated in the previous Holy Grail War. I do not know which servant he was the master of, but Hiritsugu was cautious of him until the very end. Oh! We're just dropping this knowledge bomb! Ah! I know that, alright. Saber, did you just... Wait, wait, how do you know my old man's name? I said I was Kiritsugu's servant. Kiritsugu Emiya was one of the masters in the last Holy Grail War. and I fought alongside him for the Grail. And we won. Kiritsugu judged that the priest to be the greatest threat of all the participants. He said that if we lost, it would be to him. Wait, what? But that means Kiritsugu was a master in the last war, fought alongside Saber and one of the people who caused that hell to happen? No. How could that be? Why didn't Kotomine say anything? Why didn't my old man tell me? I do not know. I never did know what Kiritsugu was thinking. If the priest didn't mention it, then you must not have asked. He is the type of man to answer anything people ask him, and I believe he will tell you the truth if you bring it up. Saber watches me silently. I'm loving that this conversation is happening! Her green eyes state my obligation as a master. If I want to know the truth about Kiritsugu Emiya, I should willingly go to the church. Oh, we're gonna have everything that we are absolutely crumble. Oh, I can't wait. This is gonna be good stuff. We about to get a brand new Shiro Emiya. I walk to the church. Time for it all to come crashing down. Yay! And it's all going to be thanks to our best friend Kirai Kotomine. Thank you, priest friend, for telling the truth. Saber's wearing the same outfit again, guarding me. Show the raincoat, show the raincoat, show the raincoat. My gaze is fixed on the church. I came here at Saber's suggestion, but maybe I'm still not mentally ready. Super important question concerning Fate Grand Order. Is there a Raincoat Saber variant? And if not, it's a garbage game. As I push on the door, I don't feel particularly motivated to ask the priest about what happened 10 years ago. Before it happens, what do you think is going to happen? I think Kotomine is going to tell us there is no Raincoat Saber in Fate Grand Order sucks. I'm never touching it. Never again. I think Kotomine is going to tell us the truth. I think he's going to paint Kiritsugu in about as bad a light as he can, but I think he's actually going to tell, like, the truth most of the time. And that fact will make Shiro realize, wait, my father wasn't a champion of justice? What the hell happened? Wait, what? I think that is going to just completely shatter who he thinks he is. So this Emiya does not become the hero Emiya. I'm curious what this Emiya is going to become, though. I am very excited to see, like, a completely different character development for our main character, which I am so excited about. Because, like, Fate and Unlimited Blade Works, like, they have, like, different paths to get there, but they're the same guy to a degree. I feel like we're just going to get a completely different Emiya in this round. And if that's the case, I am insanely excited for it. Master, I turn to look at the girl behind me. She's not in a raincoat. No! Why? Why? I will wait here. You should face the priest alone. I know. I'm not leaving. Not after I came all this way. Please do not tell the priest that you summoned me. You shouldn't reveal that the same heroic spirit has been summoned twice. Yeah, I just want to ask about Kiritsugu. I'll be right back, so hang in there. Although, how much would Lancer be able to tell him enough about Saber for him to realize that it is the same one? I'm curious about that. We'll see. I assume that Kirai knows. I assume that from what Lancer told him about his sparring with Saber, that he straight up knows, oh, it's the same Saber. I didn't read that last sentence. Be careful, Shiro. If there is danger, call me. There is something wicked about that priest. There's no telling what might happen if you let your guard down. Lanchas does not like Kotomine enough to say anything other than, strong girl, don't fight. Got it. Can't argue with that. I'll run and call to you if something happens. I ascend the steps. Saber remains alone under the cold winter sky as I enter the church. The priest is nowhere to be seen in the chapel. Instead, there's someone sitting in the pews? From behind, I can see super cool and not scary blonde hair. It must be just some random foreigner here to worship. Am I right? Excuse me, is Father Kotomine here? I try asking anyway. The figure lazily stands. Is the Heaven's Field route just, we get stabbed here by frickin' Gilgamesh, and then the rest of the story is about... Okay, fanfiction. Saber goes to find a new master, and that master is Sakura. Or Taiga. Let it be Taiga. We need Taiga to win the Holy Grail War. She's the only one who can bring order to the chaos. Just from a glance, I can tell that his movements are firm and strong. He walks my way. Personal space. Why does this game hate personal space? Nothing strange about how he moves, yet there's something I can't put my finger on. Man approaches me nonchalantly. Also, my dream of Gilgamesh having completely different outfits in all three routes has also come dashing to an end. Dang it. But then, why do I feel like I'm about to fight for my life? Ah! Personal space! The man raises his hand. As I free Steph, he slowly reaches for my neck. But his hand stops midair. Oh! Something rather unsavory has developed an attraction to you. Something. This entire cutscene with the stupid worms was concerning two people. One who I'm assuming is evil grandpa, who was constantly referred to as it. And the person who they kept referring to as a thing. Who, after jumping around a lot, I think I finally settle on, okay, thing is Sakura. Now you dropping thing again? Why you dropping thing? Oh, don't call Sakura a thing. Oh, I'm so paranoid. Oh, no. Oh, and again, in this route, somehow we got our command spell or got something on our hand early from probably Sakura. Is that what he is detecting? I can't say he's wrong. It'd be strange to say otherwise, but I was in fear for my life simply because someone walked up to me. Wait there! You seek Kotomine, yes? The man disappears behind the altar. After waiting a few minutes. I'm surprised to think you would retire after only half a day, Shiro Emiya. Father Kotomine appears and greets me in his usual unpleasant tone. I don't intend to, I'm just here to ask a question. Like I'd come just for the reason you gave. That is fine with me. I am a busy man as well, so I wouldn't want you to become dependent. Kotomine approaches, his hard footsteps echoing. Are you going to break personal space too? It's like there's an invisible pressure emanating from him. He gives off a severe air that makes me feel conscious of my flaws just by standing near him. Maybe it's a helpful trait for someone in his position, though. At the same time, isn't that counterproductive for a priest? Yep, that's breaking personal space. State your question. We are hardly acquainted such that I feel the need to exchange pleasantries. Thanks. That's right. I don't need to be friends with this man. I'm only here to verify what Saber told me. Once I do that, I can get out of here and just say good riddance. Just one question. Why didn't you tell me? And what would you be referring to? There are a lot of things I'm not telling you. I could list an entire book about it, but be more specific, please. About my old man. Why didn't you say that Kiritsugu Emiya was a master in the last Holy Grail War? Priest doesn't show a hint of shame, and in fact, he looks like he's enjoying hearing me say Kiritsugu's name. Answer me. If you're overseeing the war, then you ought to know. Why didn't you tell me? There was hardly any reason to. How would knowing that your father was a master benefit you? Kiritsugu Emiya's deeds are irrelevant to Shiro Emiya. Yes, what he says makes sense. After all, he's such a nice guy. Even if the old man was an excellent master, it wouldn't do me any good to know it. But no, it is my business. Did I become a master because I'm Kiritsugu's son? Kiritsugu raised me as his son and trained me in magecraft as his apprentice. I became a master just like him and made a contract with Saber, the exact same spirit. Anyone would draw the connection. Said it's a coincidence that I became a master, but if you had told me about Kiritsugu, I would have willingly fight in the war just like you want. Why didn't you mention him? That is beyond my ability to know. I know of no genetic succession of masterhood, and to begin with, you aren't Kiritsugu's blood-related son. It is very rare for a human with no intent or preparation to be chosen as a master. Normally, the command spells would not be bestowed upon someone who is ignorant of the Holy Grail, even if he is a mage. I don't know why an exception like you would occur. Then it has nothing to do with my father? You're saying it's a coincidence. Just a coincidence that I became a master and that he saved me back then out of sheer goodwill because he wanted to save a dying child? This is the direction we're going with. So now Shiro's going to think, wait, he didn't save me out of goodwill. He saved me because he wanted an apprentice? I am very interested. As far as I know, but I cannot divine the will of the Holy Grail. As much as I'd like to dismiss your selection as a random choice, I feel some karmic connection at work. Perhaps the Holy Grail chose Kiritsugu Emiya's son to demand atonement for his rejection of the Grail. Wait, my old man rejected the Grail? Yes. Your father came to this town to obtain the Holy Grail. It was his sole objective. The Grail responded to that pure wish. Perhaps it was willing to allow itself to fall into his hands. But Kiritsugu betrayed the Grail. In the last possible moment, he destroyed it. He turned on his own wish, on the Grail's expectations, in order to end the Holy Grail War. He destroyed it? If that's true, then the Holy Grail probably wouldn't approve of being destroyed. But it was the right thing to do. A Holy Grail that can grant any wish? Hey, just fighting over it to acquire the power? If you think about it, the Grail is the cause for a lot of fighting. The old man didn't betray anything by destroying it. Kiritsugu ended the war by staying true to himself and doing the right thing, like being a champion of justice that I have always looked up to. That isn't treachery. I bet Kiritsugu destroyed the Holy Grail because he realized he didn't need it. He didn't betray anything. That is right. You didn't know the man that he was. Very well. Perhaps this is a waste of time, but I will tell you who that man truly was. The priest's lips curl. It's a repulsive smile as if he's savoring the moment. Kiritsugu Emiya. He was a mage whose life had nothing to do with the Holy Grail War. He simply lived according to his own desire and objectives, which eventually led to him to seek out the Grail. He sought a miracle his own powers could not achieve, an ideal which human hands could never realize. He decided to stake his hopes on a wish granter, as he was unable to abandon his childish dream, though others would have given up long ago. I do not know where he first heard of the Holy Grail War that takes place on this land. Perhaps another interested party saw potential in having him participate. It matters not. Regardless, Kiritsugu Emiya was hired as a master. The Einsburn family, which is one of the founding members of the Holy Grail War, chose him to be the ultimate master. After the previous 3 wars, the Einsburns sought masters specialized in combat. In fact, the Einsburn mages themselves are not suited for fighting. Their clan is particularly ill-suited for it. Thus, they placed their hopes on Kiritsugu as a seasoned killer without ties to the Mage Association. They taught him, a heretic, knowledge of the Holy Grail, gave him the powers of a master, and had him join with their bloodline in order to produce an even more battle-worthy heir. Hi, Ilya! If Kiritsugu Emiya had given the Einsburns the Holy Grail, they would have taken him in as an official member of their family, not unlike noble families in the Night of unknown lineage and origin. Yep, totally. Ilya calls us brother. That if it wasn't 100% confirmed before, I think this 1000% confirms it. Kiritsugu had a child with Ilya's mother, and that child is Ilya. Feel like that's a guarantee at this point. They treated Kiritsugu with unprecedented good faith. They put their trust in him fully. Kiritsugu lived up to those hopes. In the previous war, Kiritsugu defeated many masters. I was the only one who managed to survive battling him. The rest were almost certainly slain. He was precise, meticulous, predatory, and ruthless. He had no mercy for his enemies. Once he decided to kill someone, they would die. He butchered servants and allowed their masters to beg for their lives, only to pull the trigger once their backs were turned. He felt nothing after each kill. He felt neither pride in his own dominance nor guilt for the fallen. In a word, he was a machine. He never had emotions to begin with, thus feelings of joy, rage, melancholy, or pleasure never entered his mind. He was a machine! Yes. Understand that he was a killer through and through. He never thought to avoid collateral damage to innocent bystanders such as yourself. He aggressively targeted people's weaknesses and allowed no chance of retaliation. He used the enemy's flesh and blood as shields and fettered them with their own friend, all to achieve a swift victory. Let me put it another way. If Kiritsugu was a part of this war, he would be the worst possible master for you to think, if you consider ruthlessness a form of evil. then he would have been the most obvious source of evil in the last war. He had nothing else, after all. What's wrong? Are you unconvinced? I understand, of course. Hiritsugu was not literally a machine, I'm pretty sure. It was both his greatest strength and vulnerability. He served his own feelings for the sake of his goals. He severed his own feelings for the sake of the goals, though not magical self-suggestion, mind you, but by relying on his own willpower. One so easily changed by magical suggestion or merely hardening their heart would not have been worthy of obtaining the Grail. That must have been his belief, so he adopted the identity of a killer through and through. But in going to such extremes, his weakness betrayed everything he had. The Einsburn family, who entrusted him with their long-held wish, the Holy Grail, appeared before the victor after 5 masters were defeated. And Kiritsugu Emiya's own dream, which no human hands could ever realize. He cast them all aside on that altar. That is how the last Holy Grail War concluded, and the truth behind the mage you remember as your father. With all that, the Holy Grail disappeared, and the war drew to a close. After Kiritsugu's treachery, the Einsburns retreated, and have spent the last decade preparing for this Holy Grail War. Now that I think about it, the Einsburn must have predicted the onset of this war. The previous battle ended without a clear outcome. They likely knew the unused magic energy from last time would accelerate the timetable. That explains that. Thank you for explaining why there's only a 10-year gap this time. To be honest, Kodamina's words don't feel quite real, kind of having everything I know crashing down upon me. Kiritsugu, the Ruthless Master, the Einsburn's great family mages with deep connections? How do I just accept all that? But the one thing I know for certain is... Kodamine, did you hate Kiritsugu? For someone who doesn't seem to care about anything, he seems really angry when he talks about Kiritsugu. Naturally, we stood at opposite extremes. We were born to be each other's nemesis. You might compare us to the Makiris and the Einsburn. Makiris? Huh. I'm sure that name won't pop up again. But we both understood each other as natural enemies. Natural enemies? You were as cautious of him as he was of you? I was not cautious of him, but I most certainly could not ignore him either. That man was an incorrigible saint. He could not abide death, yet would kill others to save people. If a single life had to be sacrificed to save 10, he would make that sacrifice without hesitation. Always willing to pay that minimal cost to bring a utopia in which everyone could be happy. That dissonance, those failed ideals, were not so different from my own. But there was a crucial, irreconcilable difference between us. He chose to live for his ideals. As far as I am aware, he was faithful to them until the moment he destroyed the Holy Grail. Doing so let him feel proud and free of doubt about his life as a ruthless machine. Posted a heroic spirit Emiya than he thought. Yep. Daddy is not as superhero of justice as he thought. We were similar, yet ultimately incompatible. That man had an unshakable will. He was able to fight without suffering a single wound, yet he was deeply wounded from the very beginning. Deliberately, he took an inhuman path, and deliberately, I became a man of the cloth. He was deeply wounded from the beginning, meaning his fundamental beliefs were always flawed. And you're different? He was someone who avoid getting hurt. Well, you say you were hurt, as you took a path embracing humanity. Being a priest made you different than Kuritsuko? I wonder about that. It would be difficult to consider us similar in that case. The others viewed he and I as similar for other reasons. You both had main character designs? Ah, yes, in terms of humanity at least, you have similarities to Kuritsuko. You've wished for something from an early age. You believe in honeyed ideals and are willing to get your hands dirty for them. You see yourself as a greater evil, working to eliminate the lesser agent. You and Kuritsuko are the sort of saviors that one might call the anti-hero. What's an anti-hero? Time to get into literary definitions! Does the word not explain itself? It is the opposite of a hero, an incorrigible killer. That just makes us sound like bad. Are you making fun of me? Perish the thought. Lest you misunderstand, I welcome you. You are his son, after all. The child of my nemesis is coming to me for help. Should I rejoice or lament? My feelings are so mixed I can hardly bear it. The priest chuckles to himself. I don't know what he's after, but he sure doesn't look bored. We were talking about anti-heroes. In other words, their existence is treated as evil, but their deeds are to the benefit of others, regardless of their intentions. Their reputation uplifts them as saviors. So, the question is, does this speech push us towards this anti-hero path, or does it push us farther away? Farther away from Kuritsuko than ever before? Does Shiro go all in on this, or does he have the complete crisis? I imagine the most vile man you can think of. If his sacrifice would save everyone else in the village, would that not make him a hero? Whether said hero is the consumed or buried matters little. Those who are unlucky enough to draw the short straw to be saddled with the dirty job of saving the masses, they are not blamed as sinners, but venerated as heroes. Like a soldier getting promoted after dying in battle? That is quite different. Sorry, sinuses. Sinus attack. Alright. The key is the awareness of those doing the veneration. Those elevated out of respect, gratitude, or guilt are proper heroes. Someone glorified for such reasons can never become an anti-hero. It is human to forget our own ugliness and substitute it with comedy or tragedy. With time, even reviled heroes are naturally treated as victims and cease to be seen as pure evil. This is probably explaining some of the heroic spirits, also. They stop being pure evil? That is right. Anti-heroes must be the ultimate assailants, even while being victim. Yep, example caster. I enjoyed that speech, just for that reason, to help explain some of our servants. And servants that could be. They are something created by humans and grow only thanks to human involvement. That contradiction is what exempts these enemies of the world from the connective forces that would otherwise eliminate them. Of course, this does not apply to pure anti-heroes. They do not truly exist. They are merely the expression of the human wish for such beings to exist. They are sacrifices that reject the idea of original sin, an ideal conclusion created by humans. Just know that anti-heroes are a wish that can never be granted, treated much in the same as peace itself. Ah! In other words, more impossible, honeyed ideals. You want to be a champion of justice who always does the right thing, like Kiritsugu. That makes you an admirable anti-hero. I know. Once you acquire the Holy Grail, why don't you try asking it to make you a hero? Wait, what are you getting at? A hero isn't the same as someone who always does what's right. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm not about to fall for your tricks. Oh. In what way are they different? I don't know, but they're totally different. Plus, a hero isn't something you try to be, but someone you become after it's over. All the Holy Grail can do is give you power beyond your means, right? I see. Like father, like son, even if blood does not tie you, you are made of the same steel as your father. Priest lets out a chuckle as if he's mocking me. Ugh. This guy hates my dad. But something that's been bugging me the whole time. He said a lot of stuff about Kiritsugu, but none of it belittled him. Hey, you actually like the old man? Or I already knew it, I put my thoughts into words. What makes you think so? Nothing, it just felt that way to me. You are wrong. I despise Kiritsugu Emiya. We have never even spoken to each other. We only tried to kill each other once. I said we were polar opposites, remember? His wishes and doubts were different to mine. How could the questions of someone without anything be the same as those of someone who had everything from the start? The priest's eyes declare that they are absolutely, fundamentally incompatible. Wait, what did Kiritsugu have that you didn't? Well, unlike Kiritsugu, I can never do anything like will myself into changing for something I believe in. Though our objectives were different, so you can hardly compare us. What? Willing oneself to change for a belief. Is he talking about how he mentioned abandoning one person to save 10? You don't have to understand. Kiritsugu Emiya's wish was, in a world, peace. Very simple, isn't it? So simple, in fact, that in a complex world it renders much unneeded. All he could do was dispose of or ignore all the excess and hypocrisy that didn't fit into his ideal world. He could not abide it. He pursued perfection while also trying to save everything that fell by the wayside. It was a miracle that no human could accomplish. A world without conflict does not exist on this earth. He sought out the Holy Grail because he could not abide that fact. Pursuing an ideal and confronted with the fact that he would never attain it, he had no choice but to seek the Grail. It was the end of a man who was driven into a corner by his own ideals. The dream of Kiritsugu Emiya was an impossible magical ideal that only an impossible device like the Holy Grail could make come true. A world without conflict. Did Kiritsugu seriously believe that? He worked to be stronger for the sake of that goal, finding himself at odds with the disconnect between his ideals and reality, yet still clung to that hope until he arrived at the Holy Grail to make that miracle happen. Which raises the question, why did Kiritsugu do what he did? Are we going to address that now? By then, the man must have known countless setbacks and endless frustration. To begin with, someone would only seek the Holy Grail because they have a wish they can't make true count on their own. He must have been worn down into a person far removed from his own ideals. Despite all that, he still wanted the Grail? All because he kept dreaming the same dream, an ideal he couldn't realize on his own, that he'd already sacrificed so many people for. But in the end, he destroyed the Holy Grail. Probably because it couldn't grant his wish? Exactly. That's what we're going to go with. That's what we're going to say happened. We can say that's what happened. Exactly. Ultimately, He betrayed himself. Betrayal. He must have been so enraged in that moment. To be honest, I still would have found that acceptable. I still deeply intrigued by the shape his idea of peace might have turned out to be. And you don't want that? You're still a priest. Your eye isn't going to say that the Grail is evil. Oh yeah, he's definitely not going to say that. He's not going to say that, but I was curious, like, the words he was going to say. First off, when I said that, I didn't know if Shiro was going to ask about him destroying it, which I'm glad he did. And I'm happy, I'm satisfied with that lie. I'm satisfied with that lie he's telling us. And you didn't want that? You're still a priest. The priest nods in agreement, affirming that a world without conflict or suffering is something all people want. It is not something I personally desire. I have no wish, or at least not the kind that a normie would conjure up. Wait, what do you mean by that? Wishes are, in essence, one's most comfortable state of being. If Koritsugu Emiya's case, it was the idea of a world without conflict. He and I had fundamentally different values. It's simple. I have never experienced what others call happiness. Trust in others as well as others' trust in me has never held anything to me. The thing that the rest of you consider joyful has never once pleased me. Oh. Thank you for that sad honesty. Maybe it's honesty. He could still be lying, but feels honest. He murmurs emotionlessly. The monologue seems addressed to someone who is not even there. Now, I think that concludes our discussion. I have sufficiently answered your questions of whether Koritsugu Emiya was a master. I didn't only want to ask about him. I have a whole bunch of other lore questions I want to ask, but I'm probably not going to be allowed to ask. First of all, why doesn't my servant have their cute raincoat anymore? How should I think as a master? How should I fight the rest of the war? If I ask him dumb stuff like that, he's just going to smirk and be sarcastic. I don't want to deal with that. Actually, I better avoid it. If you have any other inquiries, make them brief. This topic took up a whole lot of time. No, there's something else I need to be sure of. Didn't I come back to the church to clear one of my doubts? It wasn't to ask if I should... of how to conduct myself as a master. What question are we about to ask? There we go. That was the other thing we needed addressed, that I totally didn't forget we were going to ask. Is it not about the Ainsbergs? As Koritsugu's son, I believe they would consider you a target to be killed. Oh yeah, that thing! Who the heck are these Ainsberg? You mentioned that they're the ones behind the Grail? What? Yes, they are. I said that the Holy Grail War is a ritual, and accordingly, someone must have first designed it. 200 years ago, there was a group of mages who learned of a distortion in the ley lines. They shared their secrets with each other and built a circle deep within the land to activate the Holy Grail. This was the starting point of the Holy Grail War. The three families who were involved in creating the activation ritual are the formal owners of the Grail. Those who created the Holy Grail, those who conceived of the command spells, and those who provide the land of the ritual. The Ainsbergs, Makiri, and Tosaka families. I'm sure that Makiri family is not going to come up at all. Probably not important. The three founding families boast history and bloodlines, the likes of which you and I could only dream of. Of them, only the Tosakas are natives to this land, and their grandmaster is the famed Schweinhork. If he is truly as capable as the stories say, then it is of little wonder that their excellence has persisted in the spite of mixed ancestry. We still have one question mark to go. Is it Schweinmark? One of the question mark is an old man. Why can't the other question mark? So these Einsbergs are the top dog in the war? In the past. But they failed to summon the Grail, and they've been reduced to more participants than they're like the rest. Their current role is only to create a vessel. That goes for the Makiris and Tosakas as well. They are now privileged families who are more likely to be chosen as masters. That said, the Einsbergs originally conceived this Holy Grail. They have 1,000 years of history, and few mage lineages have persisted for a millennium without fragmenting. Do you understand, Shiro Emiya? For 1,000 years, the Einsbergs have tirelessly pursued this Holy Grail. 1,000 years? They've killed and killed and killed, committed atrocities, clinging to their... Sorry, I thought that was internal monologue. Clinging to their inhuman madness since the Middle Ages. It is not passion, obsession, nor zealotry that inspires them, but a cross they desperately cling to in the name of reaching a pointless destination. If the Einsbergs have been around since the Middle Ages, that might be the answer, the easy answer, most logical answer to why they had access to the sheath, which we know from the other routes is what Kiritsugu used to summon Saber. So Einsbergs were possibly in England around that time as well. The Einsberg mages have gone beyond the realm of mere evil. Over the century, those monsters have never once strayed from their dogged pursuit of a shared goal that was forgotten only decades from its inception. We cannot imagine the obsession that drove them to endure the frustration and humiliation of inviting a foreign mage into the fold. And yet they have continued to prioritize obtaining the Grail. 5 centuries of repeated mistakes. 3 spent thinking that they could not acquire the Grail on their own, and another 2 to realize they could not acquire it via their own power. The Einsbergs were prepared to literally die for their own goal, and partnered with the 2 lesser houses to achieve it. And as a result, they lost claim to ownership over the Grail, and were reduced to fighting their rivals. They bore that humiliation and even invited an outsider to contaminate their lineage. Then, when that man was within arm's reach of the prize, he betrayed his benefactors. Such is the relation between the Einsbergs and Kiritsugu Emiya, and the sins of the father underpin your relationship with them. Oh, no wonder she went straight for me. Wow, she must really hate me. Son of the man who betrayed them as a master? Yeah, they're never gonna let me get away with that. You seem to understand. While all masters have some connection to the matter, the obsession of the Makiris and Einsbergs cannot be described in mere words. You want to talk about the Makiris? Can we get a lot of Makiri lore, please? The Makiris have chased it for 500 years, the Einsberg thousands. If rightful ownership is the point of contention, then it will only be resolved once the Holy Grail falls into either of their hands. I don't have words. We will get Makiri lore sooner than you think. Yay! It's kind of like the big thing, one of the big lore points that's been hanging over the entire story, just mentioned every now and then, but we're getting a whole lot of mention in this branch. Not just anyone can obsess over a single goal for hundreds of years. Don't look so downtrodden. Kiritsugu Emiya may have betrayed the Einsbergs, but it was not out of malice. On the contrary, he was so committed to his own wish, he was willing to defy 1,000-year-old ghosts. Wait, Ilya's a ghost? Dang it! There's something strange in the neighborhood. Who are you gonna call? So, we're gonna have to cross the streams to get rid of Ilya, aren't we? To that end, he cast aside all that was near and dear to him. Is that not something to be proud of? They welcome him into their family, but He was so determined. He made an enemy out of 1,000 years of history? I don't intend to take his words at face value, but if that's true... If I call myself my father's son, then I have to walk the path I believe in just like he did. What is the matter? Has the mention of 1,000 years worn away your will to fight, Shiro Emiya? Yeah, right. No matter the story behind the war, I made up my mind. Whatever the other masters are planning, I'm not letting them repeat what happened 10 years ago. I looked at him to drive that point home. The priest made a dramatic, satisfied nod. That is sufficient. If that is what drives you, then fight like your life depends on it. The longer it lasts, the more victims there will be. Do as Kuritsugu did, and weigh lives on a balance, all to lure out your objective. Make it sound like it isn't your problem, like you're just telling me to be the bait. You have nothing else to offer as collateral, after all. I wouldn't call it a desperate measure. You lack the ability to detect other masters, but servants can sense other servants. If you possess a capable servant, then you only need to wait for them to find the others. The priest turns his back on me. Guess I got nothing else to ask him. Bandit Saber's been waiting a long time, and she doesn't have a raincoat to protect her, unfortunately. Wait, I have a question for you. Are you trained in, like, healing stuff? No, so what? In that case, you should bring me your wounded. The church mustn't overlook any victims. I will treat them, if you bring them in time. I come to an abrupt halt on the way to the door. That's a surprise. You know healing stuff? Isn't that against the rules? It has never been my specialty, but I picked up the skill at some point. Not counting the first 3 days, this is the shortest Heavens Feels day, and is mostly exposition. This is the shortest day? It has felt so long! Long ago, I watched someone die of illness. It spurred me to try my hand at healing. I had a greater knack at it than I expected. But I will require compensation from you personally. As the Overseer, I must treat my flock equally. No thanks, I wouldn't come to you if my life depended on it. I turn away in a huff. Don't stop walking till I'm outside. But he's going to help heal people. Leave the church. So, we can go beat up Shinji, get him within an inch of his life, bring Shinji here to heal, and then we can beat up Shinji again! I like this plan. Let's stick with this plan. Saber appears as soon as I exit, as though she's been waiting in the shadows. Have you finished your inquiry, Shiro? Yeah, heard what kind of master my old man was, and his connection to the Ironsburg. Priest also warned me about what to do next. He was super duper chatty. We talked for way too long. I feel like I owe him now, unfortunately. The priest was cooperative. Saber blinks a few times in bewilderment. Personal space, lady! Shiro, are you alright? Did he exact some price from you? Why didn't you call in for help if you were in danger like I said? I guess I made a weird expression because Saber gets in my face. What did he do to you, Shiro? Your wounds aren't fully healed yet. You know what will happen if you're reckless enough to repeat what happened last night. Saber gets even closer. Show me your injuries, Shiro. It is partially my fault you are hurt. I cannot let you die without repaying that debt. I still haven't helped you even once as a servant. I refuse to let our contract end this way. What are you talking about? Saber reaches for my shirt as if to tear it off. Whoa! But rather than coming off as frightening, she's... Sorry, I couldn't hold the laughter in. Being stripped down naked in public is not a humorous thing. Well, maybe on some sitcoms. It just depends on what music they have playing in the background, and if there's a laugh track. Shiro? Saber's hand stops. Her look of worry becomes a glare as she realizes what I'm thinking. Uh-oh. I thought a naughty thought. Shiro, it is a poor taste to laugh at someone else's discomfort. Eh. Even her indignation is amusing, and my cheeks start burning. Ah! Shiro! Stop it! You look so anxious and surprised me. I'm just a happy accident. Dumb mistake. My bad. My bad. Please don't hurt me. I haven't gotten concussed in this timeline yet. I'd like to keep it that way. A happy accident. I expect you to explain. Saber looks offended. Keep me right at home on the disciplinary committee. I know she's sincerely giving me what I want, but it's so sincere that I got a glimpse beneath her usual veneer. Ow! Why are you grinning? Did you find my misunderstanding that amusing? Sorry, I'm happy to hear it. Honestly, you're just more upbeat than usual. I believe my condition is entirely normal, though. What of it? That's not what I mean. It's like, I saw who you, actually are for the first time. I'm glad that you're actually a girl. Got her to blush. Saber flinches and takes a step back. We found her weakness. Flirting. What are you talking about? A servant's gender is immaterial. We exist only to defeat enemies, and if that is troubling you, then you would be pleased by such a fact. Sorry, Blushing Saber. You aren't the main girl this time. Oh well. We can still enjoy it. I'm not sure if Saber is angry or exasperated, but she's giving me a withering look. Strangely, doesn't bother me. I just keep on grinning. Though she's a servant, beneath it all, she's still also a girl. I don't know what the others are like, but she's the one I'm contracted with. She isn't just a familiar for fighting my battles. She just said she hasn't helped me yet. I recall she saved me from Lancer, how she tried to buy me time to get away from Berserker. She saved my life twice and she still thinks she hasn't helped me. I can't tell if you're a busybody or a perfectionist. Why are you looking at me like that? You may be my master, but I will not tolerate mockery. Take care what you say next. Fine, don't be mad. I'm just saying I'm glad you're the servant I made a contract with. What do you mean? I merely answered your summons. I did not make a contract with you by choice, and are you not the one who chose me? Only by coincidence. It's too bad. I wish I could have reached out to you like I meant it. I extend my right hand to her. Something I still haven't done yet. Are we about to make a bond, or are we about to make a metaphor bond? Are we about to unlock the Saber archetype? I have to make her a promise that I should have done from the beginning. Shiro, I know it's overdue. This is the only way I know how to do it. Saber walks over to me and grasps my hand. Her fingers are thin. I feel the firm touch of someone other than myself. Will you fight with me? I need your help, Saber. My oath has not changed. I was summoned to be your sword. And I will require your aid as well. I will be borrowing your power to obtain the Holy Grail. If you trust me, then I will show you power worthy of that faith. Through her handshake, I feel her warmth. Oh, whatever unease that I've been harboring is just erased without a trace. It's been half a day since the night where it all started. For the first time, I finally feel like I have a true ally at my side. We wait for nightfall, then head out into town. That's what Saber and I decided after discussing it. But Kodamine said, I suck at detecting masters. That's why Saber's here. She can detect the servants, I really hope. Sorry. Dinosaurs are dumb. just happened seemed like a good idea, but Saber said that was a risky but certain choice. Master shouldn't stay holed up in the hideout. The Holy Grail War is a competition between masters, so they'll all do whatever they can to come in first. Everyone's gonna expose themselves to a degree. Servant or master, they still need magic energy to operate, which I'm not going to be able to give her real good. Oh well. Even if I can't sense other mages, I can at least sniff out traces of their spent energy. That's another thing. If we don't have Rin on our side, how are we going to open up the pathways, if you know what I mean, between Shiro and Saber? If I canvas the city looking for the traces, I might find clues leading to the other masters. Of course, that requires me to offer myself up as bait. Like Kodamine said, it's the only thing I can do. And we start our patrol tonight. Saber insisted I stay at home while she patrols. But I countered, we're supposed to be fighting side by side. Just you and me and you. We're fighting together. Very well, but promise me you will act with me at all time. Don't be stupid and just charge into Berserker and get disemboweled. Will you swear not to venture outside alone at night? We'll see if we keep that promise. Although I didn't hear us say that we agreed to that. Now then, we decide our plan of action. There's 2 more problems left. Is it the fact we haven't eaten yet? Jiro, as I explained earlier, I cannot make use of surplus magic energy. That is doubly true if we decide to head out tonight. Yeah, mentioned you'd be sleeping wherever you can to save power. You have to maintain your physical body, since you're not getting any energy from me. My bad. You recover 8 points of magic energy today, and it takes 6 to maintain your body. That leaves 2 in reserve. We're actually getting the power levels. Like, freaking at the end of the last round, all of a sudden it started dropping, like, magical power levels in how, like, the measurement system works, and we're getting it here already. Oh, I'm so happy. In a regular fight, you'd spend, like, 10 points at best. Only as long as I avoid being wounded and my armor stays intact. But that is unlikely if I fight heroic spirits of similar strength. To use your terms, I spent 50 points in my skirmish with Lancer and 200 against Berserker. Lancer stabbed her in the chest and Berserker tore her stomach open. Recovering from that much damage certainly took a lot of energy, so I thought, but it doesn't take much energy to heal my physical body. It costs more to restore my armor. Most of my magical energy is dedicated to defense. Guess that's how it is. So the armor is a part of your body. It takes energy to maintain them both, and you can take it off to conserve energy. Yes, but other servants don't have that requirement. Unlike Archer or Lancer, who can assume spirit form, to reduce the burden, I can only dispel my armor. I see. That makes sense. I think I've got enough ingredients. Good, we're having supper. What is the supper? I appreciate you cooking our meals, but shouldn't you be taking this more seriously? I am, though, and cooking's also, like, super duper serious to me. Not entirely, but I don't exactly feel like I'm in danger, so I was surprised to hear Saber's condition after we came home. Without any extra magic from me, it takes all Saber's power just to exist. Doesn't sound like she's in any shape to fight at all. How much energy do you have right now? Oh, in your terms, about 1,000 points. That's just super cray-cray. Still has that much in the tank even if they're spending 200? Man, Saber on a bad day. It's terrifying how much power if she had her actual real mage backing her up. It would be a power number beyond imagining. Probably over 9,000. I think I'm finally starting to understand why Tosaka calls Saber the best. That makes me feel better. Well, there's only 6 people to fight, so you got plenty of fuel. And hopefully they'll all just take each other out, and we can just relax for a while and just enjoy some food. That is only if I limit myself to regular combat. As I said, my noble phantasm requires an enormous amount. It would be quite difficult to use in this state, which is why I should try to conserve energy. Saber's super angry. Probably because I'm incompetent. I know you need to save energy, but you need to eat too. I still have leftovers for lunch, so let me fix you dinner. Maybe we can defeat a servant in one hit and have the energy conserved for later. Hopefully, we'll be able to take all the energy out in just one attack. Nothing bad is going to happen. Please let the other servants take each other out. Very well, I don't intend to use my noble phantasm on a whim. At any rate, we shall revisit this topic once you have a better understanding of what servants are. Looking a little displeased, Saber politely takes a seat at the end of the dining table, her posture perfect. Good, good. I'm glad she's willing to eat. But Shiro, you said there were 2 problems. What is the other one? Oh yeah. Gonna be here any second now. Make sure you use the cover story we talked about. I started chopping daikon radishes and throw them into the wok. Saber tilts her head quizzically. Are we about to reach my favorite part of any playthrough? And then, we're back, Shiro, and you are making dinner! Thank you for having me over, Senpai. A pair of familiar voices ring out at the house entrance. Please don't be sad, Sakura. Please don't be sad, Sakura. Oh no. Oh no. The silence is super painful. As I expected, Fujini and Sakura took one look at Saber and then fixed me with a laser-hot glare. This is Saber. She will be staying over starting today. Please be nice. That's all I needed to say, right? Nobody objects, which makes the silent feel really pointed. They are not even drinking tea and not even making sipping sounds, leaving the hot tea to go cold. Okay. Never get anywhere at this rate. We need the sleepover. We need the sleepovers to happen, and we need the images, and we need like the silly stories. We need the pillow fights. We need to hear the conversations of them talking about boys and their favorite magazines and stuff. Oh boy, we are not going anywhere at this rate. I just need to screw my courage to the sticking place and press on. Anyway, she came to see my old man, and I can't just send her home, so she's gonna take some time to tour. She won't be staying long. We can have her stay in one of the open rooms. Yeah! The quiet is stretching on. By the way, I can understand Fujini and Sakura's reaction, but why is Saber looking so surprised? Ooh, well, if she knows Kiritsugu, then we will have to let her stay. She did mention he had some relatives abroad, and Miss Saber, well, she looks well behaved, so I guess I can't say no. Miss Fujimura, you mean? Sorry, I know how you feel, Sakura, but this is still Kiritsugu's house, and she came from abroad looking for her relative. So it would be a shame the reputation of Japanese hospitality if we turn her away. Plus, it is dangerous outside lately, so we cannot kick out such an adorable, very short girl. That's true. Do you agree, Senpai? I do. I'm going to let Saber here. Just stay here for the time being. Do you have a problem with that, Sakura? No, I think you should let your acquaintance stay over, but, Saber? Yeah, her name sounds super duper strange, but I guarantee she's super good people. She might act a little weird because she isn't used to Japan, but I'd appreciate it if you helped her out. We really couldn't think of a better fake name for her besides just her actual class. Couldn't have called her Emily. Couldn't have gone Sally. Really? Alright. Maybe Arturia? Oh, alright, if you say so, Senpai. Sakura nods meekly, not meeting Saber's eyes. Does she not like Saber because she's a foreigner? Is Sakura racist? No! Anyway, time for dinner. Put lots of effort into dinner because it's Saber's welcome meal. And also, I really need to get these other two on their good side. Meal begins with tuna tataki and fried chicken with a mildly spicy scallion sauce, followed by a somewhat standard main course of beef potato stew with assortment of deep-fried tempura featuring fluffy shrimp. Definitely a splurge without a clear program on the menu, but it seems poorly received by the guest of honor and by my apprentice. What is up with the tempura? It's just so soft and yummy on the inside. I think you might have changed my whole outlook on shrimp, Shiro. Well, on the other hand, at least Taigen likes it. And that's what's important. Thanks to her good humor, dinner ends without anyone getting stabbed. Even got Fujini to offer Saber some of her own food, which is not common. Seems to have taken a shy to our house guest, which is something I ought to seen coming. Fujini leads Saber off to her own bedroom in the guest house. Saber's not sleeping beside us in this route. Sakura and I stay behind to clean dinner. We divide up the tasks as usual. I'll do the dishes, Sakura. Would you mind cleaning the table? Oh, and don't throw the oil away yet. Just cover it and put it back. Do you need help? It's heavy. I can carry it. I'm stronger than I look, you know. Picks up the pot with a small huff. She can pull a bowstring after all, I guess, so I shouldn't be worried. There's more to archery than pulling a bowstring. I washed the dishes to the sound of splashing water, and then... Senpai, we're short a few towels. We're out of paper towels, too, and some of the dishes aren't in their usual place. Oh, you're super right. I wonder if a thief got in. I doubt any burglars would only take kitchen rags. Right. What kind of thief would do that? What are we foreshadowing? Dishes not in their proper place. Empty paper towel roll. Several missing kitchen towels. Finally, the dots are connecting in my head. Tosaka is a towel thief! We need to confront her at school. I slap my fist into my palm in realization. We're going to have to go beat her up for this. Tosaka took care of me after I collapsed during the berserker fight. She must have used whatever linens were on hand and then stole them. Senpai, by Tosaka, do you mean from school? Yeah, she stopped by the other day and stole my stuff. I was stupid and got myself hurt, and Tosaka was passing by and helped me out. Of course, I didn't mention the whole disemboweling thing. Whatever fancies I had of Tosaka ended that night. To my regret, Ren Tosaka, the star student, the idol of my school life, was wiped away yesterday. Ah, dang it. Why? Huh? Why was she here? It's a little strange. She has nothing to do with us. Not me, not you. Why? Sakura goes still, looking downcast. It's so sudden I don't know what to say. She's hugging herself as though she's trying to hold in some anxiety. Why did we say the Tosaka name out loud? You're an idiot. Shiro, you're an idiot. Time to go on patrol. The lighting dims once I'm outside. It's 11 p.m. No time to shove rods up my spine. We're going on patrol. Then Shiro, are we going to the center of town? Sakura's condition didn't improve after cleaning up her dinner. In fact, she looked worse. She didn't have much energy and was spacing out like she had a fever. She didn't want me to walk her home and asked Fujini to take her back instead. Well, we could try on the other side of town. I think it's likely that the other masters are lurking there. Come to think of it, Sakura looked off the last 2 days. It looks like she isn't feeling well, or maybe she's scared or something. Shiro, are you listening? Shiro, I am asking what we will be doing tonight. Oh, I look up in surprise. Oh, Saber's pouting in front of me. Sorry, my bad. You want to know what we're doing next? Yes, do not make me repeat myself once more. We could go to either side of the city, but there is a slight disturbance on the flow of the ley line. There's no doubt that the other masters are active. Depending on our choice tonight, we may have to defeat one of them. So we might be fighting a master tonight? What do we do if we run into that girl again? Oh, like, we can't beat Berserker. Master, I am ready to do battle, though I lack the magical energy supply. I will not fail, as long as I have my limbs. So long as we're fighting Berserker, that's not a guarantee to keep happening. Though we would need to retreat if we fought Ilshval. Okay, good, she at least realized that. There will not be a big fight tonight. Do not worry, we will finish day 4. Okay, I was about to say, if we're about to reach a choice to where we're going, I'm going to save. Saber's only cause is a Berserker. She doesn't mention the other possible encounters like Tosaka. Tosaka's just an enemy that needs to be defeated to Saber. Me, though? The others just need to be stopped, not defeated. Just so we're on the same page, Saber, if a master and their servant stops, I want to force the other servants to use their command spells. Are you alright with that? I understand, but what if they do not accept our terms? We'll follow the rules of war. What they signed up for when they became masters. We start down a road nearby. Should we patrol near Miyama or Shinto and cross the bridge tonight? Throat is feeling it right now, and I don't know how much longer the night is going to last, so I think I do want to stop here. We covered a lot. We got through some big lore conversations and got through a whole lot of clicking of stuff. You were burdened by ads. Sorry. I'm sorry that you're burdened by ads. The ads will go away in less than a minute. I've got the ads set. They only last a minute, so that's good. All right, let's head out of here. Let's go ahead and plan for our next stream to be Friday. I think Friday during the evening is probably going to be a decent time for us to have our next stream. Next week, we should be able to stream, hopefully, a lot more. I have a couple of days off next week. Hopefully, my voice will be up for taking advantage of it. But in the meantime, Thursday nights, we do have our streams with our buddy, The Worst Heroes. What happened during the ad is I've decided, just like, I don't want to start the next section. I don't know how short or long the exploring section is going to be. I think now's a good stopping point. Next stream should be Friday. I'm going to aim for Friday afternoon, and hopefully we'll be able to do a lot more streams next week. I've got a couple of days off next week, so hopefully my voice will be for streaming even more next week. What do we got? What do we got? I feel like... let's... Okay, I was going to raid into someone playing Metaphor, but they're in the 3rd city, and I'm in the 3rd city too, so I don't want to risk raiding into other stuff I don't know yet. So let's raid into some Overwatch. Nothing wrong with a little bit of Overwatch. Overwatch is a fun game, which I have not played since the whole Hong Kong incident. So maybe I've thought about it. I haven't really enjoyed a first-person shooter since Overwatch. So I'm going to raid into Rockley Smile, like one of the best indie game streamers on Twitch. He also streams a lot of Overwatch. I've discovered a lot of games through him. Like I found out about Slay the Princess through him, which, oh dear lord, one of my favorite streams I've ever gotten to do here. So let's raid into Rockley Smile. If you feel like participating in the raid, we do have raid commands. You've activated my raid card because branding. So thank you so much to everyone who stopped by. Thursday night with Worst for Ace Attorney. Hopefully no hurricanes pop up out of nowhere to cancel the stream again. And Friday we should have our next Heaven's Feel stream. So until next time, fare thee well. Ta-ta.